St. Patrick's Day. Allison, what do you got here?
Well, this is for the makings of my St. Patty's Day dill dip.
Oh, I'm going to be making Zeppolis. They call them Zeppola now. It's one of those things that happened over the years. They were always Zeppolis when I was growing up. It's kind of like that pasta and macaroni thing. You know, macaroni became pasta sometime, and we still call it macaroni here.
Yes.
So, what else are you going to be doing?
Well, I'm doing my St. Patty's Day dill dip, and then I'm going to be doing Irish egg rolls.
Irish egg rolls.
Tons of learning to you.
And the rest of the day for myself.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you got?
So, well, few social events are looked forward to as much as St. Patrick's Day parties, because if you think about it, here we have a holiday not fraught with gift giving or even greeting cards. It's just another excuse for good friends to get together to eat, drink, and be very merry. So, as I said, I'm letting you all be privy to a couple of the patisserie's secret appetizers, one being our St. Patrick's Day dill dip. So we're going to get started on this right now. It's got a lot of fresh ingredients. So I like to serve this to the guests just as they are arriving, because as you know, a lot of people don't eat before you're going to a party. So this is a good, versatile, light, fresh, and dare I suggest a little bit healthy.
A lot of green in it too.
Yes, it's got green and white. I'm using both parts, so I'm chopping up some scallions here. I use 2 scallions. So, and this dip is really good, Bruce, because it's versatile enough to be served with crusty breads or crisp vegetables, even some crackers. So it's really terrific. So first what I'm adding is room temperature cream cheese. It's very important that it be room temperature in order for you to incorporate it correctly. And now 1 cup or a little 8-ounce container of sour cream. Okay. Oh, wow, that was really loud. Okay. Now, we've got some freshly chopped parsley. We're continuing with our green theme. A little pinch of salt here. A little dash of Worcestershire sauce. I've been rehearsing pronouncing that all week. And now, obviously, you can't have dill dip without dill. I really recommend using the fresh dill in lieu of the bottled, because it adds so much more brightness and color to your dish. So we just kind of pluck it off like that from the stems.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, and you just remove your stems. I love to grow dill in the summertime. I mean, there's nothing, this is a marvelous herb to use with seafood or dips. You can even put it on salads.
Yeah, dill is nice. Remember my grandmother used to grow that all the time.
Oh.
Dill and fennel were 2 things that she always had. They look very much similar.
And fennel is very Italian.
Yes.
Indeed. So now we're mincing this, which means we're just running our blade back and forth across, because you don't want to have these big leaves of dill. So you want to just so you keep your point right on the board. And look at me, I'm waving back and forth. Are you waving your St. Patrick's Day flag?
I was.
We have a little set prop here. There we go. Okay, now right into our bowl. And that's pretty much it. Just going to carefully do that.
It's simple, and you just fold it together, or we're
very
actually going to mix.
Very simple. So now we just fold this together. I usually do this in a food processor at home, but it weighs like 600 pounds, so I didn't want to have to, carry that or hurt my back. So now all we do, we fold this together. Now I highly recommend that you prepare this either the night before or the morning of your party, because it's very important to let all of these flavors meld together, because if you taste it right now, it just tastes like a separated jigsaw puzzle. And look how beautiful we have our greens and our whites. You can't get much better than that. So we're just going to combine this together, and we're going to cover it up and put it in our fridge. And I'd say minimum time, let that sit for about 3 to 5 hours.
Okay, this is going to be celebrating St. Joseph's Day, equal times for the Italians, of course. We're going to be making Zeppolis. I got to pronounce it right, otherwise we're going to be getting inundated with phone calls saying, "You're saying it wrong." I know. There were always Zeppolis growing up in Cranston. What the hell do we know? It's Cranston. Anyway, these things are basically a cream puff recipe, and you stuff it with a special filling. This is going to be an orange chocolate recipe. We got a lot of chocolate left over here, so we're going to try to use it up here. It's wicked simple. It's a cup of flour, half a cup of butter, and 4 eggs. That's all there is to the cream puffs. Anyway, we're going to go on the stove. We're going to put it together. Melt. Very, very important to have boiling water. We also have a cup of salt with a quarter teaspoon of salt. We're going to be, half a cup of flour with a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. There. New mouth, I'm just breaking it in. So we're going to let the butter melt, keep everything over the heat, and we're going to add the flour.
1.
Okay, the butter's all melted. We're going to add all the flour all at once. And over the flame, I'm going to cut it down just a bit. We're going to stir it, and what's going to happen is it's going to form a ball in the middle, and it's going to separate away from the sides. Very important to do this with warm, because the flour kind of, oh, look at that, just perfect. The flour kind of blooms and absorbs the water and gets fat. It almost looks like pasta dough here, but what we do, yeah, that's just exactly the way it's supposed to look. Okay, we're back at the prep counter. We have our stuff here. We're going to add the eggs one at a time.
What? Just one?
Just one at a time. We're going to mix them up. Now this dough is going to be, well, this batter is going to be very, very thick.
You don't want any shells.
No.
The Italians do not like eggshells.
Yeah, I did this before in outtakes, trying it, and I did not follow the recipe to the letter, and like it was really weird. It looked like pancake batter. Okay, not incorporated yet. Hang on a minute. Wow, this is really looks some weird stuff.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that amazing. How do you pronounce it?
Zeppolis.
Zeppolis. See, I say Zeppolis.
Zeppolis. They're all Zeppolis.
But
to
I'm
me
from
too.
Pennsylvania,
okay, throw
so
it in there.
I also say prosciutto and mozzarella and ricotta.
Ricotta cheese, just like the sandwich shop. Ricotta.
No, I mean, if you don't know any better, you don't say ragout.
Hey.
I mean, all right.
I grew up in Cranston. I call it ricotta. Okay.
Rigotti?
No, that's a
Ragout?
yeah. No,
Okay.
ricotta cheese.
See, now that's starting to look somewhat
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, this is
little
really
battery.
weird. Boy, look at that. This really looks bizarre. But it's supposed to be thick. This is an ancient recipe. This is my mother used to make these. Mama Valone.
Mama Valone.
Mama Valone is American.
And this is her recipe, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, her maiden name was Lenley. I mean, her family came over in the 1700s, so like she is the least Italian person you ever want to meet.
Mayflower people.
Yeah, well, shortly thereafterwards, then the immigration laws weren't all that strict, so.
Well, they're not that strict now either.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Oh, now that's pulling
That's
together
just right.
beautifully.
Okay, now we're going to drop it onto a greased cookie sheet. Okay, we're going to get some Crisco. This is the fastest way I found to grease a sheet. You know, if you go to a baker's house and their cookie sheets are really nice and like clean and bright, they don't use them. This is what happens when you use them. Right. Make sure you don't use the stuff you deep fry with to grease stuff. It tastes a little bit weird. All right. Now we're going to take it in little dollops about 2 inches apart. That's just right. This stuff is really, really sticky. This same batter can be used to make eclairs and things like that. You'd pipe them onto a cookie sheet and they puff up amazingly, you won't believe. Now we're going to preheat the oven to about 375 and cook these for about 40 minutes. And one of the things you're supposed to do is look in at them, and when there's no moisture actually beads up on the outside, like little balls of sweat on it. And when the moisture is not beating up anymore, that's when they're okay. This is some sticky stuff. Oops. Alright. Gotcha. I'm going to throw these in for 45 minutes, and we're going to check them at about 40 minutes, 35 minutes to see if there's any beads of sweat on them.